Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. Being based on history, the stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
Hopefully you find it. You're just gonna be singing that all episode.
Like how
I know,
we're
it's so
actively
good.
recording and we've gotten nowhere.
That's just par for the course. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
this
Yeah.
stuff, art takes time. Soon, you can't rush perfection.
We can't rush
all right?
perfection.
Yeah,
You can't rush mediocrity either. We're not working.
That's
we're
right.
not-
Absolutely
we're not-
rush mediocrity.
I know. Sometimes I do. That's why I only edit the first half hour of the podcast.
No, you're not supposed to reveal your secrets.
I would never. That's somebody else. That's some other guy. That's the guy we pay to edit our
that's
podcast.
really
highly
too.
paid editor. We give him gold bars.
Yeah, that's
like,
the
yeah.
flamingo. The guy Fliz keeps him chained up in the corner.
So what you're telling me is it's just embezzlement at this point.
No, gold bars.
right.
How the fuck are we
Gold
affording
bars.
this?
Because they're lyrical.
They're lyrical.
You know, come with that fire. Well, you know what we could do? We could start with a question. How do you feel about that? You guys want to start with our first question?
What's the question?
We have a question.
We're gonna start with a question. Yeah, we got a question.
Have we even introduced
And this
the
one goes
episode?
out. This one goes out to our boy Lionel, and this comes from Hackslash on YouTube, and he asks, "Bruh, what even is your avatar?"
Oh, you know, I don't actually know, to be honest
you
with
know
you.
what it is. You just don't know how to explain it.
I don't know where it's from. Like, I don't know the name of the show. It's from an anime, but I couldn't tell you the name of it. But I found this, like, this is really like 15 years ago. It was a long time ago I found this. It was in like some kind of like anime montage or something, I think is what it was. And I found this scene in it of like this cat dog thing. And I took a picture of it on my phone, sent Danielle, my girlfriend, and it was just on my phone ever since. And then like years later, Strider here told me I needed to change my icon from the generic Discord one. So I changed it to this because it was on my phone still.
I want to stress that I went, hey, you need to change it. He went, oh, okay. Click. He had that in less than 5 seconds. I was like, the fuck? How did you have that ready? Why did you have that ready?
Who am I? Where am I? So you still don't know where it's from? We need to find out where this is from. That could be something for next episode.
I found it at one point, and I don't remember the name of the show, but what was happening in the scene, it was just like this dog cat thing was like in some kind of weird, it was like locked up with a ball gag. It was like being whipped by some woman. It was like really strange. And I guess what the show is about is it's about like a guy who, when he gets horny, turns into like a dog. Like that's, you know, that's the thing.
I was hoping the explanation would take us away from how like weird the picture is, and it only solidified
it's
it.
It's just really strange. Yeah.
It's probably exactly what you think it is.
Yes, it is exactly what you think it is.
I remembered we were watching some kind of like montage thing, and you had like a moment because like it showed that and you're like, that's what it's from. But I thought it was the lady walked in and like it just walked in on that scene of him in bondage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, no one was whipping him. He's just like that, and they're like, oh.
He like accepted his fate. I remember he like closed his eyes, was like, this is how it is, and then that's just the whole scene, and that's all I've ever seen.
Because that popped up, and you're like, that's it.
And I have no context beyond that. I have no idea what the show is called, like what any of it is about beyond
Ballgagtopia.
I don't even know its name. Like,
I love that some people put like so much time and effort and get commissioned artwork, and they're like, this profile picture is me, and you're like, I don't know. It's from a thing. Couldn't tell you. Ball gag cat.
My favorite part is like, because the icons are so small, people just think it's like a cat, right? until they look closer at it.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Wasn't it also your work email picture for a while?
It was, yeah.
Oh,
this
beautiful.
It shows you how like little of a fuck I give. But yeah, this is my icon for work at one point too. I remember I changed it. I forget why, but it changed automatically too at some point when Google updated.
Well, speaking of not giving a fuck, welcome to episode 20 of the Giant Enemy Crab podcast. That was our boy Lionel explaining what his avatar is. And I like to be, I think we've asked you before, and I like to be reminded every time. It's just a fun little story.
Yeah, pretty great.
I'm Fliz, your host, joined by these fine folks, Tsungar and Strider.
Hello.
And we're here for another week of gaming news. We did have a little bit of housekeeping. We did have a reply. We stated last week. Okay, here's what's up. We stated in I think last week or the week before that the human eye can only perceive 60 FPS, and we spent like an hour today. Somebody replied saying that's not true. Thank you for the follow, by the way. We appreciate that. But there's no, I'm not saying we were right and I'm not saying we were wrong, but there appears to be no concrete evidence one way or the other. And it was driving me insane. We could not find like a scientific peer reviewed document that we could understand properly to tell it like the things don't relate. I got frustrated. I can't I can't do anything about it. I'm just gonna say like I agree or I don't care. I'm not an expert. I tried.
You do.
I do care. It was driving me insane. I can't find a solid answer.
Yeah, he was going kind of crazy trying to find like just a base, like, here you go, here's the answer. You can rest now. And it just did not exist. Yeah. No,
every page tells me something different. And half of the pages are just links to like gaming magazines or like none of it is like there's no scientific documents on the app. Maybe I was looking wrong. I'll have to refine my Google foo, but we appreciate the feedback either way.
Hey, at least we narrowed it down to somewhere between 10 FPS and 789 trillion. So we're getting there.
We're somewhere in there. So the human eye does not perceive FPS as a computer or a screen produces it. I'm done. I'm not going to get into it.
Here's our main
I'm not a scientist. Yeah, but so we try. You know, we don't claim to know everything. We're not qualified. We're just here to have fun.
Maybe you'll have more insight when you get a robo eye.
That's
Dude,
true.
To replace your broken one.
Yeah, that's fun.
You'll be able to see in both dimensions.
So anyway, enough about my stroke eye.
Well, I guess while we're on a science topic, there was an interesting thing that came up. An article on Tom's Hardware. This is kind of out there, but the reason I bring it up is because of the new
Tom's Hardware.
Yeah, Tom's Hardware. It's because the new GPUs that are coming out from NVIDIA.
Ooh.
So the new GPUs that are coming out, the RTX 5000 series, are supposed to kind of more take on the advantages of artificial intelligence, right? And a huge kind of drawback to any type of AI, and this is not just, graphics cards, but this is just like using artificial intelligence in general, is the amount of like power consumption it takes, because it's like enormous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some AI engineers have, and this is a claim, they have not proven this, but they've claimed to reduce AI power consumption by 95% with a new type of, well, I shouldn't say new, it's a different type of computation that they're using. To be more specific, they're replacing complex floating point multiplication with integer addition. I couldn't tell you what that means. But the important distinction...
I forgot what you even said. Complex... Never mind. Keep going.
The important distinction is that they have said that the new GPUs by NVIDIA cannot take advantage of this type of computation.
Oh.
Which is kind of oof. But it also shows like how like fragile and kind of hazardous like this new tech that we're making right now is, where NVIDIA is unleashing this new like series of graphics cards next year, and they are pretty much already potentially obsolete.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I was gonna say. That's crazy.
That's insane. Off like a couple AI scientists said, like, yeah, you could have like reduced the consumption of those by like a ton, and probably made them even more efficient than what we have now.
Dang, you put all that time and effort into like your next line of products. That's crazy. That's how companies go out of business.
Yeah. So we're in like a very interesting kind of sphere when it comes to technology right now, where just stuff is coming out so quickly and like huge leaps are happening that we're actually starting to see it in products from these larger companies too.
Yeah, it's exponential growth. Like it only gets faster, you know. Just think about where we were at 200 years ago versus the thousands that we've been around. Like it's only been in recent. Well, because when I read that book, it was saying games have only been around for since the 70s, and look where we're at now. From text adventures to Death Stranding graphics, which man, that game was pretty.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
How has your Death Stranding adventure been, by the way?
Oh man, so we saw the demo at was it Next Fest or Gamescom or something? We saw the demo for 2. Not the demo, the trailer. Yep. And it looked lovely. It looked like everything I wanted it. They had lightning guitars and giant space marine ninjas, and it looked like something crazy cool that I was down for. And I was like, man, I gotta play Death Stranding 1. It looked like something I'd hate, but this trailer for the second one's got me feeling a certain type of way. And so I picked it up. It immediately crashed my PC like 4 or 5 times. I had to redo all my shit and run some registry fixins and some command prompts to get my PC where it needed to be. Oh, no. I have never played a game that was, and I made this statement before, but it's like those TikToks of like never let them guess your next move. It's like that personified into a game, at least for the first hour, where every time I think, okay, nope, that's what's happening now. Okay, well, I guess that means, oh, no, I guess we're doing that now. It's raining. Oh, no, it's turning you old at the same time. Oh, there's a invisible monster. Oh, it's a part of this eldritch thing in the sky. Oh, no, we're cool with that. Like, it's just craziness on top of craziness, and I don't know what any of it means yet. I do know it has told me a million times so far that Hideo Kojima is a part of making this game. His name has popped up on screen like 500 times.
Yeah.
Don't forget his name, goddammit.
I can't now. It's embedded into my brain. The game looks gorgeous. I want to keep playing it, but then I got to the gameplay and it's... It really is just a walking simulator.
Yeah.
Like you sit there for the cutscene. It will, and I know it gets a little more impressive, and you know, it seems stupid to talk about a game this old, but like the like watching the initial cutscene and seeing the world getting built around me and like trying to figure out what's going on. Like I love that. Like I realized that I've been playing trash games like for a year now, and I forgot what it's like to really play like a AAA, this is a cinematic experience game, and that brought me back. So now I kind of have like a bit more of an open mind towards AAA games, just, you know, kind of getting reset in that position. That being said, I don't know if I'm going to finish it.
I couldn't do it. Man, I tried.
I want to know the story, though. It's such an interesting world compared to the junk I normally see.
Yeah. When I played that game, I fell into the trap of constantly doing the side quests. Like, I felt like I had to do this before I move on, and they just don't stop. There's just always more. There's always more to do. And you're just walking the whole time. Just walk from one place to another, back and forth, back and forth.
Gotta get thumbs ups, dude.
The feeling of like the first time it's like, here's your real mission. And I'm like, cool. And then the music sets in and then it tells you where you're supposed to go. And I like, it really hit me like, oh, I'm going to be walking there in real time. And I was like, maybe something will happen that, nope, you just walk there in real time. That's the game. I can't.
I will say it does start to get more interesting because eventually those invisible creatures and stuff, you have to get past them. Like you have to, walk past those guys, and that's kind of stressful.
It was, yeah. I tried to walk by a guy and then the world turned black and a giant orca flopped up out of the ink ground and I just had to run. I don't know what's going on in that game.
Yeah, you have to like try to wad through and like escape, and and then eventually like there's other people with guns and shit you have to start avoiding.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to fight the time raiders or the time bandits.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I like that baby in a bottle, though. It's kind of cool. It was funny because I was playing it and I was like listening to him cry. He's making like all these cute faces. My baby's in the other room. Like, shut up. I'm playing games.
I got my bottle baby.
It was a funny thought. Yeah, I got my own new bottle baby. Here, leave me alone, real baby. I'm busy.
Yours is in a vat.
Yeah, get in the bottle.
Well, if you're tired of that game, Fliz, there is a game that I don't know how you'd feel about it. I was actually curious what you'd feel about this game because it is an MMO, and you've played a few MMOs now, right?
I've played a lot of MMOs.
And I know one of the things you've always complained about is like the time gating and everything, in Final Fantasy and stuff, right?
Yes.
There is an MMO coming out called Erenshor. It has a demo out currently, but it's not fully released. And it is, Erenshor is what it's called. But it is a massive multiplayer offline game because it's not a real MMO. It's an MMO where all the other players are all simulated. They're not real.
Nah. Are they okay? Do you speak to them and is it AI generated like text and stuff?
I don't know if they actually if it's AI generated, but I do know like they will actually interact with the market. You can invite them to your group and then they will play while you're gone and they'll have other stuff and they'll level up. Like they are simulated to be actual players. They'll even like if loot drops, they will ask you for it too.
That's the loneliest fucking thing I've ever heard of.
It also sounds cool at the same time, though. Like,
I like the idea. Like, I like the idea of that. In theory, not I don't want to play it, but I like that we're experimenting in that direction. That's kind of cool. I don't want to like. Multiplayer interactions are my favorite part of any video game. Like we just watched a relationship fall apart in real time in an Aram game of League, and it was the best part of my week. Like I can't imagine playing an MMO without real people.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I'm going to probably give it a try after this because I heard about it recently. I believe. Well, there's a demo out. I'm assuming the demo's free.
I was going to say let's play together on the demo. That's not how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it's not multiplayer at all. Like there is no multiplayer option. I thought that'd be interesting, but yeah, no, it's just a single player MMO game, which is interesting. I've played games similar to it, which they're very niche titles where they try to emulate like the combat or game mechanics of an MMO. There's one, I forget what the name of it is, where basically you play as like the healer in an MMO party, and it's all just boss fights.
Are you talking about like that was it kind of like a clicker? I can't remember. Like a clicker game.
Sort of.
I think I played the same one. How was that called?
I know you played it. It was a while ago that we played it though, so I don't quite remember the name.
Mini Healer?
Mini Healer, yeah, that's what it is. Yep, that's a pretty interesting game. There's some cool builds you can do in it, and every boss has different mechanics. You got to change your build around. It's a fun game, but I've never seen an MMO or one of these types of games that tries to simulate the entire MMO, and you're in it.
I want to say I think like the only game series I can think off the top of my head that kind of, I mean, not like complete simulation, but kind of had that feel was like the .hack hack games. Because as you progress through the game, even though you log off at certain points, you can come back in and the other party members will be leveled up. The story goes on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, it's like a character that logs off for a bit, and then later on the story, they come back. Yeah, they're higher level usually.
Oh, yeah, that's story-based.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not like fully simulated, but it gives like the feeling of, things being kind of persistent.
Yeah,
I have the feeling that you're going to be more used to playing this game than you anticipate, because how many times were we just wandering around Final Fantasy like not interacting with people and do it? Like a lot of the MMOs are now set up in such a fashion that you can play by yourself and you don't have to interact with anybody.
Yeah.
So we're probably used to the feeling of this game by now without even realizing it.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually been a huge critique of a lot of modern MMOs, that they're not really massively multiplayer anymore because you don't really interact with the people at this point. That's
why WoW Classic got so big, because people wanted that again.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be necessary for you to actually meet people and create, friendships and not just dungeon finder and queue up.
Hell, man, even like other multiplayer games don't really have to interact. Like,
true.
I think the last time I interacted with a random was our recent goof up.
Well, last time was last night.
That was funny.
Yeah, well, like I don't normally actively say League. I don't normally actively talk to people, but that was one of the first times I was like, I gotta.
That's because you'd get in trouble if you told them the things you say in the Discord.
What? Dude, I do not type that shit to people.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But you would be banned if you did. That's what he's saying.
Also, I do not say anything near as bad as some other people we know.
You don't say terrible. You don't say things that. You don't say things that would get you canceled. That's for sure. But you do say some toxic stuff. But that's fine. You're not telling them, so who cares? What was that game you were talking about called?
It is called.
How do you spell it?
Erenshor or something?
How do you spell it?
Yeah, I was trying to look it up, but
yeah, so it's Erenshor. That's ERENSHOR.
Oh, Erenshor. Okay.
Yep. Seems interesting. I'm gonna give it a try and kind of see what's up. It has
demo.
a.
Are you listening? Oh my god!
I'm listening. What do you mean?
It's been mentioned like 3 times that there's a demo.
Yeah, well, sorry. I was trying to fucking find it.
Oh, it's just
there's
funny.
A demo. It's beautiful.
Oh man. But yeah, if they make games like this and then just combine it with like ChatGPT, I think you could probably make something that could fool someone into thinking it's a real MMO. Wouldn't that be crazy? Like you have someone download the game and they actually think it's real.
That'd be without telling them.
Yeah, you just don't tell them.
Pranks them like, yo, go interact. What are they gonna say to you? Call me names. What happens? I'm interested. Okay, now I'm kind of interested. Like, can you type to them?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Just went.
Depending on who you present this to, we know some folks who would probably try and hook up with these NPCs.
Oh, I'm gonna try and get banned from a solo
Wow,
game.
they really did think of everything. Your license has been revoked.
Please do not treat other players with such disrespect.
Oh man. But lastly, at least for me, is there has recently been a big update for Unity. Unity 6 has been launched now. And if you guys remember, for those who don't know, Unity got into some huge trouble with their kind of restructuring their payment shenanigans that they were doing. Do you guys remember that?
That's right. I remember. Yeah, it was
the runtime agreement, right?
They were trying to. What was that?
The runtime agreement, right? And the payment for like every time a license was used or activated.
Yeah, they were trying to backcharge for all the use, right?
Yeah, and
Something along
basically
those lines.
They would charge developers every time someone had downloaded their game. So like for every download, you'd have to pay Unity money, which was like absurd.
Yeah,
where before
insane.
Yeah, because usually how it works is like they don't charge you unless you make a certain amount of money, and then they charge you, say, we want a cut of that, and then you're good, right? That's typically how it goes, depending on the license that you purchase. They have since backtracked that. They said, never mind, we're sorry. Oops-a-daisy. The latest Unity 6 engine also these are some big upgrades too. Like these are some pretty wild ones. And they've also kind of tweaked their payment model a bit, and they've since doubled the amount of money that a developer needs to make annually before they start trying to take their cut. So they're reaching for apologies. They're like, please, please just come back.
Good. No, that's what I like to hear. I mean, I don't know their financial situation, but I know that Unity is used for a lot of stuff, and the idea to be like, well, I know you built your game for years on our engine, and now we're going to start charging you before that. When before that wasn't a thing is super terrible behavior.
Oh yeah.
So good. Please pull that back and make it better.
I just don't know. A lot of damage has already been done, because I've already seen quite a few games that are like, we're not coming back to Unity. We're finding something else. Like the fact that they even tried this once was too much.
That's true, because like the way it worked, the fact that it was even possible legally for them to do that, and like, you know, for a lot of these developers, that's their livelihood, and all of a sudden you have it threatened by the engine you used to make it is insane. Like, what do you even do in that case? You know,
that's why I was harping, and they're like, there needs to be advanced or more up-to-date regulations on the gaming industry, because there's so many things that are affected by like an overnight decision that just destroys careers, you know, that developers or, you know, whoever was working on the game had nothing to do with. It's just suddenly their whole livelihood is in the trash because, you know, shareholders or some marketing fuck up, or, you know, for whatever, for any reason, I guess things can just suddenly go down the, you know, tubes without any real way to predict it.
Yeah, it's awful. But hopefully Unity 6 goes down pretty well. From what they're toting, it seems to be a really major update and kind of puts them on par with like Unreal. So if things go well, then we might get some pretty cool games, Unity games now. But it really just depends on whether we're going to get any developers that are willing to risk using the engine again.
Dang. Speaking of Unreal, did you guys like that stuff? Looks, some of the stuff I've seen is crazy. I don't know if it was a real video, but I still remember that one with the car that's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like a car that's on fire. Like I would take that as a 4K video of a car on fire, and then they kind of move their brush tool around or something, and the fire moves with it. And I'm like, oh, for real? Like, is that a real video? Like, that's crazy if that's where we're going. I don't know if I will never be able to afford a computer that can handle stuff like that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, one thing you have to keep in mind is whether you have a machine that can actually properly render that in real time, because the odds are you don't. But just to give you an idea, there was a Godzilla movie trailer someone made in Unreal Engine. You can look it up on YouTube, and it looks fantastic. It looks like cinema quality. Like, it's very good. Ooh. And then if you ever look at some of their tech demonstrations, the things that they can do with Unreal is kind of insane. They had one person go up on stage where they just put them in front of a phone camera, right? And on their large display computer, they were in real time transferring her into a real 3D model just off of the camera display off of their phone. Usable in-game model just from that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure it looked great, too. Like, it wasn't like Lara Croft PS1. Like, it was...
Oh, she was doing the presentation. Model. So she was talking, and it was mimicking her on the model on the display.
Oh, Ultimate VTuber software. Nice.
It only costs an arm and a leg.
That's an old presentation at this point, I believe. Yep. I think it's a few years old now. So the power behind Unreal Engine is pretty absurd. The issues with it is the complexity it has makes it harder to work with, you know, just because there's a lot of tools. You got to know how to use them. If you do, that's great. But
you also need to use them efficiently.
Yeah, that's the other major thing. Yep.
All right, well, I'm excited for that. That's cool. I want more nifty things. I like nifty. No, I don't. I want everything to look like shit so my computer will last forever.
Exactly. The real struggle. Yeah, no, you don't. You're gonna like start one of these games and it's gonna do the exact same thing Death Stranding did. Just balance of medium to full and powered off.
Oh, I felt so bad for my tower. I'm like, you poor girl. You just work for podcast editing. We can forget about gaming forever, I guess.
Please just don't die.
Just don't die on me. I have so much information on this.
At least
backed up
League of
any of it?
Legends still works, Fliz.
That's like having a crack addiction and being like, hey, at least I still sell crack on the street. Like, you're fine. None of it's good.
Help. I can't get away.
I can't complain. I keep getting entertainment out of this free forever game, so I can't complain.
True.
All right, Jacob, what you got?
All right. Starting off, let's start with Bandai Namco. They apparently they've canceled a bunch of titles recently, apparently, including some One Piece and Naruto games. But more noteworthy, they canceled.
Oh no!
They canceled some unannounced project with Nintendo.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Which is
that's
kind of
pretty
absurd.
huge.
Is this because we were talking a while back about Bando Namkai?
Bando.
Bandai Nam Bando.
Bando's just combining the two.
Bandai
That's a
Namco
fusion dance.
online shutting down.
Yeah,
They're not doing so hot.
they are.
And now they're canceling this, and this isn't for Oh my god! This isn't the online part. This is just the regular
Yeah, this is
company
just
now
Bandai.
canceling.
Yeah.
So okay. Oh, you did it too. I heard it.
What? I didn't even say the name. I said yeah.
I heard Bando. Now I'm just tripping.
He's
All right.
It's like a fucking, that's like a Star Wars name,
sneaking
dude.
around at night.
It is Bando Namkai.
Bando.
The new Star Wars guy from the Cantina. Bando Calrissian.
That's exactly where my mind went. Except Calrissian's real.
Wait,
He's real.
he's real.
I'm going to Cloud City next summer.
It's like an actual Star Wars name.
That's kind of crazy that they're cutting a bunch of projects, because I remember like Square Enix is having that problem right now where they've been canceling so many projects that they've been losing a lot of money to it. And we already know Namco, I'm just going to call him Namco, avoid the situation, is struggling already too. And now they're canceling their projects, which is, potential money in their pocket now that they're losing for sure, just to restart something else.
I don't know. I really, that's part of it that I don't. I mean, you already explained it. Actually, I do understand. Like you said, if they could have invested that money into the stock market and it would have made more than making the game itself,
Waste
then
of
they're
time.
going to cancel it.
Yeah.
Right, which makes sense, sadly.
Do we know what they canceled?
We know that there was some One Piece and Naruto games, but we don't know what the project with the Nintendo was, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, that's the big one. Naruto and One Piece games, there's a bajillion of them.
I think there'll be a
But
bajillion
Nintendo
more.
games.
It was a Cooking Mama. It was a Cooking Mama sequel.
Oh, man. We're in the worst timeline. I knew it.
I mean, they're not going to get anything like fucking Sparking Zero, because Sparking Zero was what? That's Spike Chun, or whatever.
That's Spike Chunsoft.
Spike Chunsoft, yep. That did like what, 3 million sales in 24 hours?
Big money. It was,
Not going to Bandai.
That game, man, it's everywhere. And I was kind of having fun with it, and then I played against you, Jacob, and that was the least fun I've ever had playing a video game.
Well, it helps to do the tutorial.
Yeah, like fighting against somebody who we purposely didn't learn anything about the game so we could just fuck around and fight each other. Jacob learned some stuff. Came whoop my ass, and I don't know what's going on, but I feel terrible.
Miller has a bunch of characters that we don't.
After the second game, it doesn't even matter about the characters. He as soon as he starts punching me and the combo meter goes to 20 some, I'm like, nah, I'm done. I want to go home.
I saw a video today, actually, of Mr. Satan just using his one super. Yeah, just over and over again before you can get off the ground, and you're just stuck. You're just stuck in a loop of that.
He hits you with the bomb, you fall down, he charges up. By the time you're about to get up, he does the super again. And the problem that I saw is that it doesn't even do that much damage. No. So this match was going on for like 10 straight minutes of just getting nailed by Mr. Satan over and over again.
That's the point of Hercule, dude.
To the point where the guy just forfeit, like he just closed the game. He didn't want to play anymore. He said, "I'm done. This is stupid." I should get into the game and I don't know. Part of me is like I want to play it and kind of get into it. The other part of me is like, how many times have I played through the story of Dragon Ball?
The story mode does have a bunch of what ifs, which spices it up a little bit. not the best presentation. Like, you can immediately change the story by defeating Riot too fast, and it spirals off into a Saiyan saga that ends with Vegeta going Super Saiyan on Earth before it transitions to Namek, where he kills Frieza off screen and they have another fight. Goku and Vegeta have another fight, and there's a bunch of like random spin-offs like that.
Isn't there one where like if you don't kill Frieza with the spirit bomb or defeat him with the spirit bomb, everyone just kind of goes home?
Yeah, basically. There's a bunch of alternate endings where like you do stuff like that.
Namek never blows up. Everybody's leaves. Everybody's fine. They all go home.
Yup.
I'm going back to my home planet now.
He's like, "Oh, can we beat the shit out of each other? We're friends now. Bye."
All right, so Bandai Namco, I did it.
Bando.
You did it, but unfortunately, I've got
Problems.
more news for them.
Oh,
So
here we go.
Bandai Namco, it supposedly moved around 200 of its employees into expulsion rooms, which are the rooms where they basically sit you at a desk with nothing to do, have you face the wall, and do nothing every day till you
Do you
quit.
get paid?
Oh, we talked about
Yeah,
that
we
last
did.
episode.
Because they get paid, dude.
Oh. Do you think like there's somebody monitoring the room who's like, "Hey, no phones.
Yeah.
Hey, no
Yeah,
sleeping."
there is. You're not allowed anything, basically. You basically just have to sit there, do nothing to mess with, no monitor, no computer, no phone, nothing. And you just
What
stare
if-
at a wall for 8 hours.
What if you just make it your goal to piss off the guy monitoring you? What's he gonna do?
So
You're already in the expulsion room.
because a big part of this too is the culture is like it's seen as extremely shameful. Like there's a lot of pride that goes around on these cultures, and where like seeing like where you're doing this and not contributing, like you're basically shunned by your like the community, by your neighbors and some of the things, from what I understand, for not doing.
Yeah.
And so it
Like to us, it seems like you would just go, well, but we have different cultural ideologies, right?
Yep.
So to us, we're just like,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
do this,
completely
we'll do
different.
that, we'll do that. To them, it's it's like a whole separate deal going on that involves shame and
Yep.
sadness and like, yeah.
Yeah, no,
'cause-
I was just thinking of the mindset of just like, could you imagine that kind of scenario though? Like you just make it your like your goal at that point. My job is to piss this guy
From what I understand,
and troll him.
From what I understand, Japan has companies that specialize in helping you quit your job because your boss denied your resignation. Like,
Yeah,
there are
that
companies
is
that specialize
crazy.
in this.
Interesting.
Like, because these expulsion rooms are a big no-no to actually be caught doing, but a bunch
Oh, that I didn't know.
they're a big no-no to, like, it's common practice, but you don't want to be caught doing it. Because of the 200 employees that have been moved to these rooms, 100 have already quit, and some of them have been saying stuff like that this is what they're doing. So they're getting a little heat
like
from that.
I like that the idea that there's like a placard on the little window that says like definitely not an expulsion room.
There's a specific Japanese term for it too. Like they have
Goon
a term
cave.
Of
for
course there is.
Goon Cave.
it. Not the Goon Cave.
Go to the Goon Cave.
It's a bunch of dudes gooning, getting paid to goon, dude.
Imagine being threatened to go to the Goon room and your fucking social life is over.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens if anybody finds out you go to the Goon room. That's fine. That's
I mean,
acceptable.
become top gooner.
All right.
I'm top gooner of my class.
It's like when you go to
Top or
prison, you got to
worse?
challenge the top dog, prove you're the toughest. You got to go challenge the top gooner.
Ridiculous title.
You got to become the strongest gooner.
But to
Well, that sucks for them.
double back to Square Enix, there is a Yoko Taro fan site. Accord's library is to be shut down at the end of the month because they received information that Square Enix wanted a bunch of stuff taken down, so they're just taking down the entire website. Because it was a fan site dedicated to Nier and Drakengard. The fuck thing about this is 6 months ago, Yoko Taro thanked the creators of the website for their love in his works and in creating the site. And now it's 6 months later, there's Yoko Taro's company, Square Enix, is shutting it down. So
Maybe that's why he thanked him. He's like, I know this is coming, so I just
guys are doomed.
this is all I can do.
Like, do you think how much say does he actually have in that?
Next to none, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah,
like, he can thank them all he wants, but he might not have the final say in what happens there.
That's what I'm saying. Like he knew. It sounds like he might have known what was coming, and he's like, all I can really do is say thank you.
What if he brought attention to it? Oh no.
Oh no. That would be terrible. He might be under like an NDA. I don't know how any of this shit works.
Because like the only thing when he checked out the website he asked them to take down was they had one picture of his actual face, and that's the only thing he wanted to take.
Which is fair. Take that down.
Because Yoko Taro is notorious for always wearing his Emil mask everywhere. Because I
yeah.
if you search Yoko Taro, you'll see him in that
the rounded skeleton kind of doll.
Yeah, smile.
Face. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Dang, so he's like Daft Punk of the developer world, huh?
He's kind of insane. Yes, he is.
All right.
He's definitely a character.
To be fair, look at the kind of stuff he puts out. He's like up there with Kojima on putting out some pretty like wild stuff.
I will always remember him and 2B's designer got into an argument on the exact proportions he was supposed to have before they had to compromise. And then he also asked the community that like hunting down all the NSFW artwork of his character was too much of a pain in the ass, so can someone just grab it all, put it in a zip file, and email it to him?
Was this to like to
it was like right when Nier Automata came out. He's like, it's too much work to track all this down. Can you just like email me a zip with all the NSF artwork?
Did he just want it to have it, or
apparently? Like, this man is great. He is definitely a character.
For research purposes.
I made the character, but I need to research more. I need fans to inspire me.
And to segue to something different, there's the FTC's new click to cancel rule.
I saw this. I didn't read too much into
I
it.
don't know what this is.
Like, it's the FTC is, as long as nothing gets changed, they're demanding that like when you're like signing up for subscriptions, you know, like it's very clear what you're signing up for. There's no like they're not hiding anything. The seller has to prove that you knew exactly what you were signing up for beforehand. And the big thing is that everything, like when you sign up for a subscription service, it needs to be as easy to sign up as it is to cancel. So if it takes one step to sign up, it needs to take one step to cancel the subscription.
You'll never be able to cancel your Final Fantasy 14 subscription.
I just had to nuke which credit cards were on that. But like I couldn't actually tell it no. I just had to nuke my accounts, like saved, like processing for that. I was like, fuck it, it's gonna fuck up next payment. I don't care.
I don't know how you guys have so much issues. I can
because
cancel.
Steam sucks.
I can cancel and renew easily. I've never had an issue.
I'm happy for you. Every time I try to get back on Final Fantasy 14, I like suddenly like my blood pressure rises because I'm so suddenly I have to go through all this shit again.
Like this isn't even a like I've never had an issue thing. It's like I legitimately like don't have any problems doing it. I don't know how you guys have gotten in this situation.
That is literally what it is. Hold on. Like you might not have issues, but I've had plenty of issues with that fucking website.
But no, like I mean, like I'm not saying that there's no issues with it though. I'm saying like I don't know how it happened.
All I'm saying is it could be a much cleaner process. And it's very messy for like me trying to use your product. It should be much cleaner than it is. And that's, apparently I'm not the only one, but you're also not the only one who has an easy time with it. So
there's also the fact that like when I went to actually like renew my subscription, it just locked out purchases from my account for an undisclosed amount of time because I updated my payment option. Like, cool, but what the fuck?
What'd you need to
I didn't figure that out because of the errors. Like, it wasn't telling me that was happy. I had to Google the error codes. And eventually I found that someone's like, oh yeah, no, that means your account's locked for a certain amount of time to make purchases. I'm like, cool, why did they just fucking tell me that? Nowhere's that disclosed that that's gonna happen. I don't even know exactly what triggered it. But yeah, the FTC rule is important because Xbox, from what I understand, when you sign up for like Gold or whatever, you have to go to a completely different thing to cancel it. Like you can't cancel it easily on your console at all.
I was gonna say it's super easy on
easy.
Oh my god, on desktop because I've canceled and signed up for Xbox Arcade or whatever it is
For Game Pass.
numerous times, to the point where I'm thankful, because when you finally unsubscribe, they're like, all right, we'll see you again soon. Bye. Like, they know.
They're calling you out.
They know
They're
I'm
like,
coming back.
Yeah.
They have canceled the $1 deal now, though, because of
I noticed.
because of Call of Duty coming out in a few days.
Ugh.
We're making our money. You're not getting away with this time.
Right after they promised to increase team sizes, from what I understand. Like, they were laying people off and saying, we're going to increase team sizes at the same time. And it was a bunch of the artists and like graphic artists / 3D modelers was like of the 30-something people that were fired.
It's weird because that's like their bread and butter.
Including the person who was responsible, I think, for modeling the $500 skin. I don't think they designed it. But okay. Goodbye. You've done.
Is there really a $500 skin?
The Ari one.
Yep, the Ari
There's
one.
multiple.
Yeah.
I believe it was the Ari
What
one.
makes them? Is that just the RP cost? Like equals
Yeah.
$500? Yo.
They are, quote, luxury goods, is what Riot has called them.
They fucking better be.
Are they even higher quality than like an Ultimate, like the highest tier right now?
It's no longer the highest tier. Ultimate's not
Okay,
the
well,
highest tier anymore.
what are they even better than Ultimate? I feel like I haven't seen it because no one's gonna spend $500 unless you're crazy. But
You've seen it. It's the Faker skin, I believe.
oh well, if I've seen it, then no, it's not more fancy. What the fuck?
I feel like it's just a thing to say I own this. Like, it's not the skin. You could probably make one that looks like PlayStation 1 graphics and just say it's $500.
Dude.
Like, what it looks like doesn't matter. It's the price point that they're offering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have to ask you. So yeah, it's the Faker skin. Faker doesn't even own it, does he?
No, he
Like,
doesn't.
I don't think
He just doesn't
does he?
use
Okay.
it.
I didn't know if they gave it to him for free or not.
I can't
They'd
imagine
have
they
to.
didn't.
I thought, from what I understood, he doesn't own it. Or at least he doesn't own like the Ultimate Edition or whatever it is. Like,
I'm pretty sure he does own it.
'Cause,
I
like-
just think he doesn't use it. Because
Well,
he
no,
doesn't
I knew
use skins at all.
I knew like the whole. I think I remember something saying like even if he had it, he said he wouldn't use it. But
that's
Is it-
like vaguely what I remember too, because I thought he didn't even own it.
which I would say kudos to him because it's like, man, I wouldn't
Unless-
want my name fucking
Unless they
attached
gave
to
it to
a
him
money grab.
later. But from what I understood, he never had. He like when this whole news like thing about that $500 skin like broke, that he didn't even have it. But I could
I'm not sure.
be misremembering.
I just love that he doesn't even use his own skin. So I was looking at it, and like his 2018 Rise skin, like he didn't even get it until it went on sale. Like he said, "Nah, I'll just wait." What a champion! What a baller! He said, "Nah, give me my base skin. Y'all crazy. I'm here to make money, not spend it."
Did you guys see anything on the Star Citizen stuff? They just had a big whole event that we were talking about leading up to the past few weeks.
Oh my god, I read something. I lost it though.
Yeah, one of their demos crashed live on stage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Like with their space, I think it was the Squadron 42 demo. I think they were having like part of the intro, like to the space shooting.
That's their first person, not first person. That's like their single player story
Yeah,
thing, right?
it's a standalone single player thing. Yep. So yeah, because I want to double back to it in a second. But yeah, no,
okay.
it was like a space shooting segment, and it just crashed live on stage. So
Yeah.
That's gotta
Here's
suck.
where all your money's going.
well, got to donate him another $50,000.
Looks like we gotta give them the money to fix it, boys.
Yeah, because from what I understand, people are speculating they might be running out of money at this point.
I don't see
where's
how.
it going?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
They've already burned
where
like
is it going?
$700 million on it because of like because a lot of it apparently goes to the devs like rockstar lifestyle.
I
or
was gonna
whatever
say
the
crack,
fuck.
Yeah,
crack
obviously.
Like it's not all going into, not anywhere near enough is actually going into game development. Also, it's apparently just
No,
a fucking nightmare to work for this guy.
no game should be $700 million. That's a crazy number. I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah,
I think it's higher, isn't it?
They've raised over around 800 million, I think. That's why people are speculating they're getting close to burning out, because they're burning like 100 million plus each year now in dev costs.
I
And the
don't
game's
even know how. Like you'd have to try.
I think when I looked
you'd
it
have
up,
to try to spend that much money just without gaming whatsoever. Like you would have to try to spend that much money.
Yeah, no, because apparently a big problem with their workforce is that they're
There is none.
well, it's more that like there's no pushback allowed. Like they talk. There's some reports of people like spending like 30-40 minutes in a meeting where they're talking about like where it's just completely derailed because they have to talk about like where this small object like pile of rubble will go in this space. Because no one gets to ask any questions. Like they'll check things like 5, 6, or 7 times with like is this how you want it? Okay, it's good. They'll check again later. Still good. Still good. Still good. 6th time he says cancel it, scrap it. Weeks of work done.
Dude.
Like he barely micromanages everything. Like things that are supposed to take just a few hours take days or weeks to get through.
yeah, dude, what's crazy is how much money they put into and raised. And I think I looked at this before, but as of April 2024, it was only reported to be 63% complete.
And how long has this game been under development?
12 years.
A while.
12 years.
Dude.
Because the thing with the development is their dev teams are like where veterans, like any of their veteran members are quitting. So they're only left with like brand new people or like fans of the game that joined game dev to be a part of it. So they're like, they have a huge problem with like people who like experienced devs leaving from what
It's like Yandere Dev, but with money.
$700 million.
Like, how do people not look at that and just like you could accomplish anything with $700 million?
Yeah, you could accomplish a lot.
You could buy some islands and countries for that much. Holy hell.
But
Maybe
Space
that's what he's
Game.
doing.
But Space Game.
Space Game. It seems what's special about the game? Like what makes the game worth this much? If in a perfect world, what can this game do that's worth $700 million?
Space.
Like like it's pretty good at what it sets out to do. Like it's not the best game at what it does.
I'm just not sure what it's setting out to. Like what is the selling point on this game?
Like a more arcade space action game type situation. Because the other thing, from what I understand, is it's not all one thing. There's different modules right now that aren't interconnected yet. Like because their single player section, Squadron 42. Which is supposed to be a 30 to 40 hour solo experience, is apparently almost complete and is aiming for a 2026 release. It was nearly finished, by their own words, in 2016, was almost done and needed just polishing in 2023, and now they're saying it's almost ready for 2026.
For just like a single player space game. Like you can
like
find a million of them on Steam.
FPS shooter, like it's an FPS shooter, and like there's on foot segments and some other stuff. Because I guess that
So Mass Effect.
Because I think the big thing is that like it simulates like everything from the just walking around like large ships to actually piloting them. So the scale is one of the things that it's supposed to do. Also, like some of these packages are like $3,000 to $5,000 that you can buy.
Are you talking about like the starter
ships.
ship pack? Yeah.
Not even the starter, just like the biggest ones. But there's like rewards for like spending $48,000 in their shop. You get like a custom ship or something.
That's crazy.
And people are spending
That's
that
so
much.
crazy.
Dude, that's like the whole Eve thing too, you know? Because Eve has like
It feels like
insanely like expensive ships too. Although
this
that's
feels
complete
like
game.
money laundering at some point. Like
It could, no, if it has anything to do with the guy's life, like rockstar lifestyle, it very well might be.
Like it's fucking crazy to see from the outside. I don't really imagine like what the people on the inside are feeling and thinking. Like if they still trust it, like how blind you would have to be.
We feel self-loathing and sadness.
I wish I could spend $48,000
I want my
on
money
DLC for games.
I mean, you always can. You just
I can't. My credit limit isn't that high. I physically cannot spend that much money on video games. Oh, wonderful.
Make it so I can fucking destroy my life in a single purchase.
Dude, no, don't spend. I wouldn't think I'd spend on something better, like, I don't know,
Nope.
cocaine.
No such thing. Star Citizen DLC
Don't worry.
for a game that's not done.
No, it's nearly finished. You don't understand, Fliz.
You're right. I genuinely don't understand the mindset of dumping money into a game that isn't done.
63% complete,
Without a proven
almost
record.
done.
Did Star Citizen, do the developers have like another game they did before that brought fans, or
No.
is this just
No, this will be a bunch of their first games. That's like another part of the
what
problem.
a scam?
It's like the bunch of their devs that are left don't have any prior like game like that they've put out. Like this is their first thing.
What a scam!
So they can't even say they've made a
those guys
finished
know what
product
they're
before. Like they don't even know when they're done.
I'm gonna start a Kickstarter for a new Dino Crisis type game.
Blizzotes.
And
Make a cereal.
MMO Dino Crisis.
Where's our 700 million for Dino Crisis?
Call it Fliz Island.
I'll start by saying it's 45% done. Here's
But
some
only after 8
screenshots.
years. And then you just post old screenshots of Dino Crisis.
And then I post a screenshot of my Murcielago.
You,
Like, oops, I didn't mean to do that.
you just send pictures of your fucking the fucking exhibition or whatever you went to. Was it earlier this year or last year? Where you put
Oh, the
Sorry,
dinosaur
yeah.
exhibition where they put in the dinosaur's butthole onto the giant life-size dinosaur, and I couldn't.
Forgot about that story.
There you go. Just send those screenshots. That's what you got.
Okay.
You've already got the
We-
45% done screenshot.
Yo,
Just put it.
I'm about to be a
Put some
millionaire.
filters on it. We're good.
Real simulated dinosaur buttholes.
As opposed to fake simulated dinosaur buttholes.
I'm opening a Kickstarter account right now.
Number one
All right.
number one spot on Kickstarter. Here we go. And then to kind of cap us off, Space Marine 2's new update absolutely made its fan base rabid. They fucked up.
Oh no.
He told me, yeah,
Why?
from what he
I
told me,
liked
it
it.
fucked up big time.
Did you like it? So what happened?
So the big thing, there's quite a few things. Big thing is general nerfs to a bunch of, and like some things got neutered. Like there's a specific type of explosive that you pick up, the melta bombs, like do 70% less damage now to bosses, which was their main use.
Mm.
But a
That's fine.
big part of this is there's a bunch of undocumented changes where things have changed. Weren't in the patch notes. They've completely broke dodging, where you could dodge things completely and still get hit by whatever you dodge.
Oh.
You're weaker on multiple difficulties now than you were before. They completely fucked up the AI director, where now
So that's my favorite one.
where they are spawning way too many enemies. Like before, where you'd have to deal at like one extreme enemy at a time. Now you're dealing with 3 or more simultaneously, and they're happening way faster too. Because there was a post earlier where the easiest difficulty someone had to deal with is 6 Zoranthropes, which
Fuck that. Fuck
they
that.
also changed it so that the Zoranthropes can also fire their lasers like simultaneously, and they broke the hitboxes on them too in this patch, where they now hit behind walls, and because of the broken dodge thing, you can't actually get outside of their range because your dodge has now been neutered in its range as well. The new difficulty has a contentious thing where you only regen armor if all of you are together. And it's like a pretty tight radius, which means that some classes don't function the correct way because some classes have to get up close and some classes have to get away.
Yeah, the heavy weapons expert and sniper would have a hard time, right?
Yep, like they just genuinely want to stay pretty far away. Well, something like the Vanguard literally grapples into the enemy.
I have fun with that. You grapple and you fucking drop kick their face.
Yeah, there's also a new mechanic where if you don't kill a major enemy in time, it enrages, so it starts dealing more damage and firing faster. And the snipers almost one-shot you on this difficulty now. Like, if you're not at full health, they will probably kill you. So people are saying, like, this was definitely not play-tested because it like, goes against its own design philosophy. Like, perks and class designs don't function correctly with this new difficulty modifier.
You know, I remember Destiny kind of had similar problems because once you get into the higher difficulties, I don't know if it was an update, but like your class doesn't even matter. You know, like some little bit, but some classes are just completely useless outside of very niche things because things just do so much damage and
It
whatnot.
just depends on your weapons at that point.
It just depends on your weapons and like what rock you stand behind. You know, like that was the end game. If I go past this rock, I die. If otherwise, I might win. Regardless of abilities or, you know, what I've been working on this whole time doesn't matter. But I remember, and Helldivers also did something where they jacked up the difficulty to a point where nobody wanted to play the game anymore.
I think they're working on that now, but it's crazy how they get to that point.
Yeah, because these are correlated because a bunch of people who were playing Helldivers moved to Space Marine, which is why, and then because there was a multiple month period where they were just nerfing stuff, and fans were telling whoever makes fucking Helldivers, I can't think of their name right now, Arrowhead.
I think it's
Arrowhead.
Yeah.
They were telling Arrowhead like, "Hey, this isn't fun. Make it like buffer things so that we have more options, so it's more fun." Because I think it was the Path of Exile devs have said that they have a quote where it's like, your players are very good at telling you if there's a problem, but they are terrible at telling you what the solution is. So and they didn't listen to their fan base, so that fan base has left and it's now moved to Space Marine. And now that they're seeing the exact same thing potentially happen, they got very angry. And they're like, "Hey, fix this, please." And
I find it's...
And Sabretooth has said that we have a patch coming this next week to fix some of these problems.
It's so weird that they wouldn't just test these difficulties like at whatever the highest difficulty of the game is. Like, test it there. Those are the players who want the real tough stuff, right? But to have like beginners failing at the game seems pretty...
Yeah,
because even Helldivers, you could still play at lower levels, but that feeling of like, I got my whole setup ready to go and none of my weapons or stratagem, none of it matters. I'm just going to be running away
Everything
the whole
is
time.
bouncing off the bug.
Yep.
Yeah,
like, what's the point? What are we designing here?
Yeah, because it definitely seemed like they hadn't play tested the new update, because from the bugs to just the entire like feel of the new difficulty is rough. And the fact that they just like substantially buffed every other difficulty because of the spawn increases.
Oh.
I just don't understand, like, and this guy with Helldivers too as well, like kind of the obsession with devs trying to balance everything in PvE games. Like, it makes sense to make harder difficulties harder, but for just like these across the board sweeping changes to make the game more difficult for everyone, like, I don't get if it's a PvE game. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's this balancing act, because there's definitely been PvE games where I found something that was broken and I abused it, and then I never really wanted to play the game again.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's like a very glaring like problem with the game. But these are like minute changes, like, oh, the assault rifle's a little too strong compared to this gun. Let's nerf the assault rifle, and then just like it becomes bad for everyone, so they switch to this one. Like, oh, that's too strong now too. Let's nerf that one, and then we'll nerf this one because now everyone's using that one. Like,
It gets to the point where everything's too weak.
It's very strange when usually the philosophy that I feel like should happen for these types of games is you buff the other things to encourage them to be used, not nerf everything, just make everything feel like dog shit.
Yeah, because they're basically treating the symptom and they're not treating the cause of why it's happening. Because it's like, if everyone's using these specific things, it's not because like, the thing to think about is not the fact that this is the best, it's that the other options aren't worth it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, conspiracy corner for a second.
Oh.
What if game super popular, game great, everybody love game as it is, everybody beats game, nobody play game anymore? How do we get people to play game again? Controversy. Make game too hard. Everybody bitches and complaints. Already have the next patch ready to go saying, oh, here's the real patch, but we're not going to tell you that. We just wanted to stir up some bullshit so people would play the game again to see how hard it is. And then they'll play again once we release the next patch to see how much better it is. And then our ratings go up again and people buy the game again.
Oh, it could be it.
Because I think Space Marine 2 has sold 4.5 million was the last number I saw.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, this was probably more bugs. Because, like, there's quotes of, like, devs in the Discord saying, like, no, we didn't touch the AI director. You can definitely tell they did. So I'm not sure how much of it's actually intentional, how much of it, because a bunch of the stuff is off the, like, notes that weren't kept. Because it also definitely seems like the dodging isn't just like from the distance changes. It's just flat out broken now. Where like you're getting hit when you clearly dodged. So it definitely seems like a combination of unintended bugs that are making the game far more difficult. The AI director going out of control when they've only tried to adjust it slightly, and then just some small changes in addition to that. Because it also correlated with them releasing the new mission, which is you fight off the Tyranid threat on Kodaku again, and I think you have to deal with the Hierophant Biotitan.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. Like the Biotitan.
Are you guys gonna play it again?
I'm down. I still have it downloaded.
I am ready to fire up GeForce Experience whenever.
I'd imagine we want to wait until this patch comes out, though.
I mean, we could also try this out and just see.
Yeah.
Good first-hand experience of
hands-on hate.
As someone on the Reddit thread, the triple Lichter sodomy experience, which was the most popular thread I saw about it.
Well, you'll have to let us know how that goes, or at least let me know because I don't have the game.
I don't have the game.
We are kind of coming up to our time, but we do have one more thing. Soon might pop off for this because he doesn't want to be spoiled.
I don't know how we're doing this though.
I don't know. Just deafen yourself.
I mean, we could just avoid it. We've already gotten it off.
Yeah, you can just avoid. Well, you could just tell, because that game's really popular right now. It just came out. What is it called?
Metaphor ReFantazio.
And it is along the lines of Persona type stuff, which I've never played and have no interest.
Because we could just,
but it's popular and likes it.
Just kind of do a general discussion right now, since I don't think most people have probably finished the game yet.
Okay.
And
well, how is it? Is it worth getting?
It's definitely. I mean, I'm not going to do any spoilers. If you want to stay and just talk about what you've experienced so far,
I'll just do a quick little review for you guys.
We can talk about it. So far, probably my favorite Atlas game. I don't even know why I said so far. I've finished it. It's definitely my favorite Atlas game. It kind of blends all my favorite aspects of Atlas games, because it definitely feels like
so the company it learns as it grows
kind of situation. It takes the best parts of Persona, their Persona series, their SMT series, even some Etrian Odyssey, and kind of makes probably the funnest game I've experienced. Like, for example, one small thing that they've added that, from what I can tell, is new to this game is that before you start a fight, there's you can attack enemies on the overworld to fill up a stun gauge, and if you fill it up, you get the advantage at the start of the fight. If you get hit first, the enemy gets the advantage. And in Atlas games, getting hit first or hitting first is very important.
Yes,
because they have my probably my favorite turn-based mechanic, which is known as I believe press turn.
Press turns and the one more.
One more for Persona, but this uses SMT's press turn. And to give an idea of how it works is, so you get a number of turns crystals equal to the amount of party members that are up at the start of your turn. Anytime you hit a weakness or a critical, you only use half of them, half of one. So you can get up to 8 moves in a single turn. If you miss or the opponent blocks it, you lose 2 full turn crystals. of your 4, up to 4. And if they hit something that is absorbed or repelled, your turn just ends.
Oof.
So they're like getting hit in the overworld can get you shotgunned, where you'll be down multiple party members at the start of a fight. It's super dangerous, but it also makes each encounter like noteworthy and memorable.
That being said, too,
Nice.
if you don't know if you can actually like, if you encounter something you don't know what its attack's going to be, you can just start the turn based right away.
Yep, for a neutral. I've great characters are fantastic. There wasn't a single character I disliked. Music's great. Main quest dungeons are very good. Side dungeons get a little repetitive.
Is this its own world? Like
Yes.
I wouldn't have to play any Persona
Yes,
games
it's
or understand
standalone.
anything about them.
It's
supposed to
an
be a new
IP.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's good. I like to see a new IP, even though it's kind of built on old ones.
Well, it's kind of it's an Atlas game, but like you don't need to know anything about any of their other categories to enjoy it, or catalog.
Okay.
And it's something I can.
Does it still have? Is it still have? Because what turned me off is all the like. It's what people love about the other ones, but all the like relationship building stuff. Is this game full of that too?
You have so relationship as in romance is out. There's no romance. We knew this like 5 months in advance.
But like working on your party bonds, there's that.
But interacting like, because a big part of this is there's a time management where you have a certain amount of time, so you can either go like do dungeons to get stronger or increase your bond with what are known as your followers, which will grant you benefits from new classes to unique mechanics, like always escape from battle or be able to see what an enemy's weakness is off the start of the fight.
Okay.
So it's like it builds they reward you with mechanical. Big change for Persona is there isn't a correct answer, which I enjoy in the follower bonds. Because in Persona, there was always a correct choice that if you did all of them correct, you would always be able to go to the next, to the next bond level. In this game, you can choose whatever. The only bonus you get for choosing the right answer is a little bit more of
Okay.
a currency. Excuse me.
The Megla currency.
But what are your thoughts on it so far, Soon?
It has a lot of stuff I really enjoy. Like it has, I fucking love the class system. Because it has one thing I fucking love in RPGs, which is you have your base classes, and they all have advanced variants, and even more advanced variants on that. And I love like class advancement. And me already mentioned it has a bunch of stuff from Persona I love, as well as SMT. I love the aesthetic of the game. The setting's great. I'm enjoying the game all around. Like that's why I'm taking my time with it.
It's definitely my game of the year because I couldn't put it down. I was 3-4 days in a row. All I did was wake up, play the game, eat, and then go to sleep.
Also, all the archetypes have really cool designs, and I like that a lot.
I will say I've noticed that Soon seems to be playing it pretty regularly, which must mean something because you switch games like I don't know.
So my thing with games is like, well, it's what I'm in the mood for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I kind of jump around as much as I do, but I always usually return to games. It depends on how long it takes me to do so. Because
I just noticed that you've been on this one for the most of the time. It must mean it's good.
Oh yeah, well, that's like it. There are certain games I'll binge too, like doing like the fucking Legend of Heroes series. I have gone on like, let me see, I played through 1, 2, 3, and 4 in quick succession for that series, and they're all like 40+ hour RPGs. But yeah, it depends on like am I in like a super kick or not. It just kind of ebbs and flows like that. And no, this one
did it
I
take
don't
you to
like.
beat it, Jacob?
50 to 60 hours. I forget my exact time.
Okay.
It's definitely shorter than a Persona game.
I was gonna say, yeah, because Persona took me almost 100 hours to finally beat.
God, that's so much time I don't have.
I
can't imagine just being like, I got 100 hours for this.
If you did,
Well, it took
just think
a
of it
long
this way.
time to beat it.
Just think of it. If you did get it, you're set for the fucking next year.
I can't even, man, I bought that Silent Hill 2 and I was super hype and I just returned it. I never even started it.
Good thing you didn't start it based on Death Stranding. You start Silent Hill up, your computer's haunted.
Oh man.
Hey man, it's Silent Hill. His computer could very well become haunted. No,
Now
not
your computer
universe.
has mental issues.
Your computer's gonna turn into some nurse, and Pyramid Head's gonna come and do things to it.
No. It's gonna the little Shiba Inu that controls my PC from the inside is gonna die.
Not
Does
the
your
Shiba
PC
Inu.
Yelp?
Which Silent Hill
All
was
right,
that?
cool. So you
That
two.
Two is the one. Two is the one. I wonder if the Shiba Inu is still there. It's got to be, right?
It's gotta be. I didn't look anything up about that game because I wanted to play it so bad, and then I haven't had.
Wanted to play it so bad, and then I never fired it up. And in the week and a half I owned it.
Well, because dude, like, part of it playing a horror game like that, like a good one, is I gotta be in like the right ambiance. I gotta have like, you know, the rooms. I can't be worried if, you know, I gotta do a diaper change or there's some
No,
kid
that's
just
the
huffing
real
and
horror.
puffing behind me. I already live. I already live with the real horrors. You're right.
Like,
But still,
it's
you know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
only an escape.
Have you played Silent Hill 2 before?
Me? Yeah, way back in the day. I played 1, 2,
I was just gonna ask,
3.
was there? Because like it's always like metaphor stuff in that. Like I can't remember what was the protagonist to 2's. What was the whole issue? What was his manifestations from?
I literally played it when it came out on PlayStation.
I can't
whatever.
remember.
Like,
I know like the nurses is like some kind of sex thing, but
I don't. I remember you go to the school and there's little babies that run at you and you hit them with the iron pipe.
that's what I was gonna say. I thought there was like some like baby imagery in there too.
There is. I think the only one I stopped at 4 because I didn't like. I want to go back because I hear it's like,
the room, right?
Yeah, it gave me the same problem where like Majora's Mask, where I started up and I didn't quite understand what was going on, and after an hour or two of trying to figure it out, I just never played it again.
Yeah, that one's really like highly well regarded.
It is. So I kind of want to go back to it, just to re-experience it now that I'm a little older. Because when I played these, I was all these, I was really young. You know, I was a little. Like I said, my biggest thing was hitting the baby with the pipe. Like that was where I got all. Yeah, pretty much.
Baby fall down.
Behold my pastime.
Yeah, and also there was like the first one. The first one is the one I remember the most, just because, you know, I was at that age where you're like 8 or 9 maybe, and you're just like it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're just wandering around this foggy liminal space getting the shit scared out of you by yourself. Like that was my jam. I have that feeling for a lot of the older Resident Evil games and stuff, so I really wanted that atmosphere for this new one, and I couldn't develop it in person. So I'll wait till it's on sale and maybe try again, because I hear it's really good. People seem to like it a lot.
Nah, fuck.
But
The nurses were Silent Hill 3. My bad.
Yeah, I don't remember. I couldn't tell you the differences between them all. Maybe Resident Evil I could tell you the differences, but not Silent Hill.
Silent Hill was always one of those ones where it was like, I love the universe and I'm fascinated by it. Oh, I know they were in 2 as well. There's like a lot of things I forget with Silent Hill, because despite being super interested in it, I definitely was not as like into it as I was Resident Evil.
Well, the series is not nearly as grounded as Resident Evil. I mean, Resident Evil's like, this is the world and this is what's happening. Silent Hill's like, well, there's multiple worlds and life and death and dimensions,
it's all like metaphor stuff.
Your character
usually
is an unreliable narrator and yeah, that kind of shit.
And
so
the series just kind of got worse as it went on, from what I understand.
I know that after 4 there was. Oh, are you talking about Resident Evil or Silent Hill?
Silent Hill.
Yeah, the later versions that were like ports and went to Wii and stuff, and none of it was as good as the first 2 or 3 or 4, from what I understand.
Definitely gotta say too, like early, like as a kid, like Resident Evil also had zombies, which at the time was like the super hotness. Like zombies were up and coming like big time, and you know now obviously we moved away from just normal zombies to like werewolves and stuff, but.
Las Plagas.
In that
Zombies
too.
are still like kind of huge.
No,
to be
they
honest.
are, but like this was at a time when like a lot of like zombie media was just like gaining a lot of traction. Because I played RE2 when I was like, I think it was like 6.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That. Oh, I remember looking at that game in GameStop, holding the actual jewel case. It was thicker than other ones for some reason. I can't remember why. But just trying to like sit there. I remember being in the game store, staring at the jewel case with my mom like in the car, and just trying to figure out a way to be like, how do I get her to buy me this? Just trying to like, I mean, like, and on the back there's a picture of like the alligator in the sewers. I'm just trying to figure out how to spin it into like, please let me get this. It's not even for me. I don't even have a PlayStation. I just want to play it at my friend's house. Like,
I had that thing kind of happen with I think it was God of War 3 had deluxe edition with like Pandora's box and all that. And I had just pre-ordered the base game, but when we went in, because I think it was pretty, like it was like early teens probably at that point. But we went in, and then when the guy behind the cash was like, yeah, he's like, did you guys want to upgrade to this deluxe edition? Because originally they're only available for pre-order, but someone canceled and they had this extra one. And I remember I just looked at my mom at the time. She's like, yeah, do it. I was like, yeah.
well, that's cool, Mom. You should have saved it. That'd be worth money now.
I had the box.
I thought you meant the bomb.
Oh.
I used the box, dude. I used
You
that
should have saved that one. I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, I used the Pandora's
What kind of
box.
statement is that, Liz?
I used the Pandora's box as like a storage thing. I still own it. Like,
Oh, hell yeah. Well, unless you guys got anything else to say about... I still don't know what it's called. That shows you how so far removed I am from wanting to play this game.
Resident Silent...
ReFantazio?
Oh,
Metaphor,
ReFantazio.
ReFantazio. I think that's pretty much it for today, unless y'all got any extremely pressing matters we got to get to.
I don't think so.
Nope.
I'll take that as a no. Well, then thank y'all so much for listening. You can... Oh my God, find us on YouTube or Spotify or Apple or that's it. And leave a comment of some sort. I'm tired, man.
Liz
I've
wants
been up all night.
questions.
Yeah, send us some questions. We'll answer them even though we're not equipped to. It's fine.
Ask me about pool
if you got those
spiders.
questions, don't ask me about pool. I could tell you a lot about pool
you're an
spiders.
expert.
Don't get me started. No, that's for the bonus episode. We'll talk about pool service and pool maintenance, and I'll get
Pool
you all up to
spiders and
speed.
tanks.
If some
Scorpions,
man, if somebody
too.
is a game dev and wants to make a pool simulator, you could make one, and if I help you, you could actually learn how to operate your own pool business through this game. You wouldn't need any actual training. That's how. Anyway. Hit me up.
What a sales pitch.
Yeah, you know how it
Can you
goes.
hear the-
If Lawnmower Simulator can make it, Pool
The
Simulator
offers
can
are on
make
their
it.
way. They're on their way.
I know. My inbox
can
is...
hear
I'm
them.
clearing out my inbox now just to
Get
get
your
ready.
fax machine ready.
If you do have questions or comments, please hit us up at giantenemycrabpod@gmail.com, or we are on Twitter as well, although I don't check that. It's kind of just horrible shit on Twitter. I try to stay away. Man, Twitter's so horrible now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can get banned for saying cis, but the N-word and like hard R racism goes all right. It's bad.
It's fucked up.
Twitter's bad.
It's
Every time
pretty
I get on there,
awful.
there's some more racist shit. It's terrible. Anyway, that's it for today. I guess we'll catch you next week.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, goodbye.